Good morning, collective. I hope you're having a great morning or evening or day, wherever you are. So today, the first deck that I have pre-shuffled and set out for you here is the Sacred Circle Tarot. So this is due to the solar transit through the sign of True Sky Taurus, which is about to end on the 20th. So we are really getting close now to that ending. There's only a few more days. Here I'm on the 17th. So on the bottom of the deck, we have an interesting card. We have the Lovers. So there could be some love situation that is resonant for you at the moment. Doesn't have to be love, but it often involves some kind of decision that will have two pathways which will have very different outcomes. So interesting that we do have the Sun in Taurus ruling with the Venus, and then also we have Mercury in Gemini. So the Lovers card is linked to that Taurus Venusian energy, but it's also linked to Gemini and Mercury as well. So the first card we have here today, however, is the Queen of Cups. So this is our intuitive, empathic leadership qualities here. It could be an individual in your life at this time that is important. So it's next to the crowning card, flanking your central significator, and her quality is intuition. So if there's someone in your life at this time that embodies this Queen of Cups energy, they could be very intuitive, or this could be the time where you really need to rely on your intuition, which is also interesting with the True Sky, because today, not long later on today, the moon will move into True Sky Cancer. Jupiter is on the cusp of Gemini and Cancer currently, and the moon will conjoin it before moving into Cancer. And then while in Cancer, it will actually conjoin Venus, because we do have Venus in Cancer. So in the True Sky, I think Cancer is one of the smallest signs. It's tiny. Cancer, Aries, and I think Scorpio and Ophiuchus are smaller. Libra's small too. So we will have moon in Cancer, and the moon loves to be in Cancer, and also Venus is lovely to have Venus. Jupiter will move in a few days just before the sun changes signs, and that will be positive as well, having Jupiter in Cancer, especially for all things to do with Cancerian things like family, home, motherhood, nourishment, you know, those kinds of energies. So then we have the Six of Swords. So this Queen of Cups actually could be linked in here, as in just the energies of the day with that Cancer moon, because the Cancer is the water sign. So it could be someone in your life, but it could also just be the energies of the day affecting the reading, I think. We have two water ones here, and we still do have Neptune and Saturn in Pisces as well. So we do have a bit of watery energies at the moment. Then we have, the Six of Swords as your crowning card for the day. So this card is very much about you've been going through hard times and conflict, and that you are now in a safer place, in a calmer place. You've gone through that, and now things have calmed down, which is lovely. And especially having this as your crowning card, that's a really nice place to have that. So your thoughts should be calm, and your feelings and things like that. We do have water cards flanking, so there's lots of feelings. However, the next card is also a six. We have the Six of Cups. So this is very much linked with like nostalgia, the past, potential even past life. Could also be like your childhood is in your past life, and early times can be linked to family, like people from your past, or friends from the past as well. So this is also affecting your mind as well. But there's a sense of calm here. So I don't think you're worrying about these things at this time. Then we have the King of Discs. So he is connected here with our Queen of Cups, and he is of the Earth suit. So with the Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn signs, and then the 2nd, 6th, and 10th houses, and then the planets that rule over the Earth signs as well. So could be an individual here and linked in with this Queen of Cups. Or it could be about you developing this intuition on a practical level. So using this intuition to advance yourself materially and on a resource sense, which, you know, is a nice combination of energies, the water and the earth. The central card, we have another figure. So this could be someone also, which, like I was saying, we do still have Jupiter in Gemini, but we also have Mercury in Gemini, which is a very strong placing to have Mercury in. And this is the air suit. So this is our Queen of Air. So the Gemini, Libra, Aquarian signs, the 3rd, 7th, and 11th houses, and then the planets that rule over those signs as well. Could be an individual, could be a feminine who's a leader. Sometimes the Queen of Swords can even be a widow or a divorcee. So she can be definitely older. Like often the queens are like 30, 35 plus. And she's often been through a lot, but she's developed a lot of wisdom through what she's been through. If this isn't someone in your life, this could be you. That you have developed a lot of wisdom through the suffering that you have gone through. And maybe that's even now why you are in these calmer waters, because through developing that wisdom, you've made better decisions to lead you through it. Then we have the Lord. Okay, so the Lord is associated with fathers and fatherhood and definitely leaders. So he is stronger than all the kings put together. He's associated with Aries, which is interesting because we do have Mars in Aries, which is a very strong placement as well. So Mars's ruler, Aries' ruler is Mars, so therefore having Mars in Aries is a very prominent, strong placement to have. So this is linked to this past energy as well. So maybe there is some reminiscence about the past to do with a father or a father figure here. And then this father figure has even taught you some wise things as well. The next card we have is the Sacrifice card. So this is linked to your Hanged Man in the tarot. And it does suggest that this is a bit of a time to go within. And, you know, if you can meditate, even if it's just 5-10 minutes, you know, if you're not, that into it yet, sure, if you can do it for an hour a day, that's amazing, but not everyone has that, you know, skill, ability, time, space, you know, all these things. But yeah, even keeping a journal, I think having this Air Queen linked here as well to write down what it is that you're going through, because this sign is very much about that you're needing to let go of something. So there's something that you need to sacrifice in your life at this time. Something's not, you know, quite working out right. And it could be even linked with this resource leadership energy here as well. There's something maybe that's not working out 100%, or there's something you need to leave behind anyway to move on. Then you have the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands is the card of rivalry. So we do have that as our base of the matter card today. So the advice for this card is that you will face stiff competition in the area of creative endeavors or business projects. You'll have to reach new levels of imagination and creativity to get your ideas accepted in the face of envious rivals. This is best accomplished by being firm but diplomatic if you want people to listen to your ideas and accept them. The figure in the card is the Cerne Abbess Giant. He is a fertility figure and heralds the flow of creativity. It can suggest that you are taking on a course of study or a new career as a writer or a teacher. It also does, the Seven of Wands in general has a meaning of kind of enjoying the fight, in fighting on, and you know, that defensive energy, but like the adrenaline hitting and you getting into that cycle of it. So it's not like a really bad energy. It's kind of like a energetic, gives you energy to kind of keep going. It's like a stimulus, like a challenge kind of thing, which obviously rivalry is. So the next card we have here is the Page of Discs. So this card does signify health. It is linked with this Lord. So maybe your father or a father figure in your life's health may be questionable at this time. You may not be aware of this. This might not be something that they are even talking about. But yeah, there definitely is. This also could be a child. So the Page of Discs, pages can represent children up to, say, like 18 years of age, and could be a masculine or feminine, and could be of the earth signs or houses or planets ruling them. And they are also linked in here with this Queen of Swords, this imagination, leadership material here as well, and this Queen of... So using your empathic intuition as well with your imagination with this health as well. So sometimes, obviously, seeing a professional is really important, but sometimes you intuitively know things, like you might eat something and it disagrees with you and you kind of think, well, that's not, you know, that kind of energy, like your gut, your instincts about, you know, your body's nourishment and things like that, which can even occur with like herbs and things like that. Everyone's constitution is so different. When I was younger, I have struggled with chronic fatigue since I was a teenager, and like a lot of different things I have struggled with. However, also like insomnia and like excessive tiredness all the time, and you know, back in the day, people would say to take valerian for sleep, and I would take it and it would keep me up all night, and I just knew that it wasn't working for me. Obviously, you know, I would take it consistently and it just was not working for me. And it wasn't until later on that I learned that because I did have that chronic fatigue, that it can work differently for everyone. Everyone's situation is so unique. That's why, you know, going to an actual herbalist or someone with qualifications can be the right way to go, because they can know all these little kind of synchronicities and different paths, and they take like your full history and all that. It is still an exploratory process anyway, no matter what practitioner you go to see, and some you'll resonate better with than others and all the rest. Same with, you know, the mainstream medical system as well. So the next cards I'm going to pull from are the Greenwich Tarot, and on the bottom of the deck we have the Star. So the Star card is quite a beautiful card. It does suggest you have been going through hard times, but that now is the time to really focus on what it is you hope for and wish for. It's like the wish card. It's one of the wish cards. And it is linked to Aquarius, and we do currently have the North Node in Aquarius, which is like the current manifesting energy. So it's the head of the dragon. And so it's kind of like where the world's energy is focused at the moment. And this is all linked with the moon, the lunar nodes. So we did have the eclipses in March and February, and then the next ones will be August. So that's to do with the South Node and the North Node. So we've still got a little while till the next eclipses. But yeah, that's always there. That energy is always there. And they are retrograde, so they do move, yeah, differently as well. So the first card, however, for our Queen of Cups, for this intuitive process or person, We have the Five of Wands. So this situation involves many people, and it needs a good leader who is tactful, who is kind, who is diplomatic. And I think this Queen of Wands would be really good. She would be a great leader for this group here, who are very much at odds. You know, they all have their own ideas. They're all wanting to get in there and do something, but they really need to kind of work together. So that is really interesting. Maybe if this is a group you're involved in, help using your intuition to help in that process. If there is some struggles going on between different individuals, potentially even talking to them separately and then together and things like that, like trying to work through conflicts if it is a group that you're wanting to keep going, you know. Then you have, for the Six of Swords, this is interesting because I said that you've been going through hard times and that you're now in calmer times. You have the Nine of Athens. So this is not the best card. It does indicate like anxieties and worries and fears, nightmares, potential headaches, that kind of energy. So potentially this is what you are experiencing. This is saying that you will get through it and that, you know, the hard times will end, but it is potentially saying that actually, to clarify, there's still hard times present. It's not over yet. And then for the Six of Cups, which is that nostalgic energy, we have the Page of Chalices. So this could be a nostalgia about a child. It could be about childhood when you were a child, but there is a young energy here. There is, could be your child, could be someone else's child, could be some child from the past. And maybe even you've been worrying about them. You're worrying about this child. I think it's going to be fine though. So yeah, just try to keep calm as much as you can. Obviously, if you need help, please get the help you need. For the King of Discs, we have the Six of Athens. So once again, we have the same, that Six of Swords card. This is clarifying the King of Discs, however. So this was about this leadership material of the earthly plane, the resources. Could be an individual, but it's saying that, you know, you or them, depending on who this is, have gone through hard times but are actually on the other side. So this is definitely a positive, two positives here. You know, the boat has gone across the water. They're basically at the other side. They're about to get off. They've escaped the danger and everything's going to be okay. You know, they're safe. For now, it's a sense of calm. Then for the imagination of this Queen of Swords, we have the Four of Pentacles. So this card is a bit concerning. It means that you may be grasping too tightly to material objects, or just materialism in general could be a little bit too much of importance to you at this time. And also having this Nine of Athens here, it could even be linked to these nightmares. So maybe you have been struggling financially and you're trying to think of new ways to get out of it. And your mind is really, you know, it's affecting up here too. Your mind is really obsessed basically and quite negatively. So it's not like a positive success. It's the nightmares, it's the anxieties, it's the fears. So you need to really focus on resolving this area with your finances. Then, and because that would be also suppressing your imagination, like the fears and the worries and the anxieties, they don't really help with that positive flow of energy. So then for the Lords, this is this father figure potential or leadership, maybe even in your own life. We have the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles is very much about balancing resources. So if this is your father or a father figure in your life, they might be really struggling financially and they're having to decide what to do with their money, you know. that's definitely prominent. And then for the sacrifice card, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So this sacrifice that needs to be done will manifest some new financial opportunities. There's new financial opportunities coming in. And then for the Seven of Wands, which was all about like fighting and the rivalry, but it was also like an enjoyable, that adrenalized energy. We have the Witch. So the Witch is all about manifesting the potentials. What is it that you want to manifest in your life at this time? So think about that too. So obviously, like, you might be enjoying the fight and just enjoying that competition and enjoying that rivalry. But, is this really what you want to be doing with your time, with your energy? Really think about it, because in that you are manifesting it, and you could kind of get stuck in that cycle of just fighting all the time. And is that really how you want to live your life? Like, yeah, we can go through periods of, conflicts, and, it can feel good to win and things like that. But if you have to live in that energy all the time, it would be really exhausting, and it can lead to a lot of other, say, health issues. The next one with the health. However, we have to clarify the Lord and the Lady. So this health situation could involve a couple. It could involve more than one. It could involve a choice, a significant choice that you need to make about your health that will lead in really different directions. I personally have a long history of studying health and wellness and a lot of different things. And it's huge. The industry is massive. I mean, I'm not saying it's $1 billion industry, but multi-million-dollar industry. There's so many different things that you can follow, and I've done a lot of it myself. Whether it's veganism or keto or carnivore or, all these different, it's a lot. So, and everyone's body is so different. Everyone's mind is so different. So I'm not going to tell you to, follow one or the other, because it's something that I think is a very exploratory process. And personally, I even feel like it's something that on a daily basis is different for women as well as men. But I'm coming from the feminine perspective, which obviously we have in this card. We have the feminine, we have the masculine. And health is so different for a woman than it is for a man. Yes, it's important for both of them, absolutely. But the fact that women do potentially carry children, they have such a different body, and, even the fact that men do contribute to that. So, like, it's not something you should at all not invest in. Your health is such an important thing to invest in. So I have been on many journeys along the health road, and I have learned a lot, and I'm really grateful for that. I still learn things every day, so there you go. So the next cards I'm going to pull from are the Earth Magic Oracle, which is interesting because on the bottom of the deck we have love, compassion. So that's interesting. Also, I do think that also mental like thoughts, and I don't think it's just food that affects us. I really don't. I really think that the environment you live in, the people that are around you, the experiences you've had, so much really does contribute to our health, our thoughts. Yeah, it's massive. Spirituality. So the first card we have here, which is lovely, is dance, celebration. So obviously physical exercise is great, and especially if you can bring joy into it. I would even say more than that, because in all traditional cultures on the planet, they all had folk dances, they all had folk stories, they all had folk music, and these things were so important to them on an individual level, on a tribal level, on a spiritual level. And this is something that a lot of humanity don't do. You know, dance is a really spiritual as well as physical, obviously, thing. So this is interesting though, because we have this for the karma waters, the nightmares, insomnia, and then we have the dance celebration. So maybe part of the worries here is that you're not celebrating the good things in your life. You're maybe focusing a little bit on, oh gosh, I just got over that really hard time and it was stressful, and you know, and you're not kind of like putting the good energy in, you know, when you can dance, when you can celebrate, you know, you really should try to invest energies there as well, because we need the good chemicals, the good brain chemicals that we get from these things are so important. And this is what leads to a lot of addictive problems in people's lives. It's to do with the brain chemistry. And so you're seeking that dopamine hit, or you're seeking, you know, whatever it is that is giving you that. However, something like dancing or some kind of celebration, or just physical exercise, you know, get out for a walk, do some stretching, or if you can, yoga or something. It really does help to clear your mind and make you feel better in your body as well, and spirit and heart, everything. So the central card we have is childhood, innocence. Beautiful card there with the children out in nature. So, I've got this Queen of Swords, imagination, and then this Four of Pentacles. I get the feeling that she has had a pretty tough life, you know. She's often the widow or the divorcee who's been through a lot and is quite sharp mentally because she's learnt to be. And then there's this material kind of feeling of scarcity. So then we have the childhood. I get the feeling that this was imprinted in childhood. Maybe you had a tough childhood, materially. I mean, most of humanity is not wealthy. You know, there obviously you've got the super wealthy, which are like, I don't know, 1% or whatever. And then you've got, you know, the trickle down effect of I guess you got the middle class and all that. But most people don't really experience. It's not that, however, I mean, look at this beautiful card. Nature is wealth. If you have a childhood that is connected to this, you know, beautiful planet that we all live on, and you really get to experience that, you know, as a child, that is worth so much. I think the hard thing is that we have to grow up, and then we have to kind of figure out what we've got to do to, you know, earn our money to keep ourselves. So that's the tricky bit. But yeah, I get the feeling here that this scarcity mindset has come from childhood. It could even have come from your family. So there could be like potentially, I'm not saying poverty, it doesn't have to be like intergenerational poverty, but potentially we've got here potentially multi-generations of, because we do have the father card here as well, and he's balancing resources too. So this is multi-generations, I think, here, linked to children, linked to father, yeah. Then we have the whale. So this card talks about making sure that you're not putting your time and energy into one place all the time. So the whales will swim under the ocean, but they also come up for air, and they actually play on the surface of the water like this one. And that is so important for their health that they do this. And so maybe you've been spending too much time indoors and you really need to get outside for some exercise or some fresh air. Or similarly, maybe you have been out like every day or every night, you've been over socializing, and you just need to spend some time calmly and peacefully at home, you know. But there's some kind of balance that's needed here. And this is about this rivalry and the manifesting. So yeah, so I think it's to do with this rivalry. So yeah, you can fight on and you can overwork and you can do all these things to like slay the competition and be the boss and all that. But is this really manifesting what it is that's kind of ultimately important, like save your health or your sanity? The next cards I'm going to pull from are the Nature Speak Oracle, and on the bottom of the deck we have Ice and Frost, Static Conditions. So there may be some kind of static energy underlying here as well. So definitely movement will help with that. And then for the dance, the celebration, we have Spread Seeds. So I'm taking this as, you know, if you are going out to celebrate, you are going out to dance, I'm not sure, invite others, you know, bring others along with you. Or when you're there, you know, try to connect with others. It doesn't have to mean that you catch up afterwards or anything. It can just be purely when you're there, you know, have a chat with someone, or, you know, yeah, I'm taking it as that. Then for the childhood innocence, wow, flowing and evolving. So I'm getting the feeling that this is healing. This childhood restrictive energy is healing. There's a flowing and evolving going on in this process. And then we have, for the breach, we have Lake and Pond. Spirit is about. So it is good when you can to work with your spirit allies, your ancestors, your gods. I think particularly your folk gods and even folk heroes. Also, yeah, your ancestors, your guides. It's quite important to do that as well. And so, but this is about, so maybe you've been working too much on the physical or mental planes and not enough in the spiritual. Then the next cards I have are the Green Witch Oracle cards. So on the bottom we have Winter, which says an ending, recharging and reflection. And then we have Chamomile, Fruit and Hedge. Interesting. So Chamomile suggests gentleness, relaxation, and sleep. Interesting. So chamomile tea is lovely for sleep and relaxation. So yeah, so even though it's saying to spread these seeds, it's kind of saying to also be gentle with yourself. Make sure you're relaxing enough, getting enough sleep. So these are things, especially because you did have that Nine of Athenes, which does signify insomnia. Then we have Fruit, achievement and success. So yeah, so there's an achievement and a success going on here, and it's flowing and evolving, linked with this childhood, with this scarcity mindset, and this Queen of Swords. Then we have Hedge. So potential, boundaries, and indecision. Spirit is about. So if there is some potential you're trying to weigh up, some boundary you're trying to form, or some indecision in your life, potentially Spirit can help you. Look for signs, look for synchronicities, you know, keep a journal, meditate, all these different things. Try to get in touch with these higher energies that are there to help you and guide you. The last cards I'm going to pull from are the Australian Wildflower reading cards. And on the bottom of the deck, we have Tea Tree, Attainment, Native Passion Flower, Crow's Foot, and Fairy Fanflower. So the first card, Native Passion Fruit, Love. So it's actually thrives along the New South Wales and Queensland coast and hinterland. Love starts from within and grows out. It is time to get in touch with your true inner self, nurture and listen well to resolve your current situations. Speaking up for your needs, forgiveness of others and self are important right now. It may even be a time of triumph if you work on breaking free of past condemnations and negative patterns. The challenges are inattentions, self-sabotage, and martyrdom. As a healer, Passion Flower works with the heart and on the emotions to bring balance. So that's quite interesting, considering we did have, this could be from, a lack of self-love, that might maybe perfectionist seeking tendencies. And maybe that's even why you don't feel that you can celebrate, why you've not been celebrating. Potentially this celebration could have led to this too. There could be some energy linked there as well, if we go backwards. The next card we have is Crow's Foot, Rebirth. So that's lovely for our central stack. So there really is like a rebirth energy ultimately here. Crow's Foot is associated with the cycle of life and indicates an ending, a change, a letting go. For things to begin, some things must end, and so it is at this moment. Holding on to something is not in the best interest for all those concerned, not the least yourself. Crow's Foot does show a new era of beginning for those who have been in the shadows. Interesting. So you're stepping out of the shadows. Acceptance of change is strongly shown as a key to coping and finding strength. Old negative habits are being shown up, and you are reminded to let go and move on. The challenge of Crow's Foot is stagnation and resistance to change. As a healer, Crow's Foot supports those coping with life transitions and changes. So yeah, life transitions and changes. That is something I'm getting here. So potentially, I don't know, even this divorcee energy with the father, it could even be, I don't know if that's your parents as a situation or that's you. Maybe you have gone through a divorce and times are hard financially and you have children and you're worried about their innocence, but you just need to flow and evolve onwards. You couldn't stay where you were. And this will be a real achievement and success. There's going to be a rebirth. That's lovely. So the last card we have for you today is Fairy Fanflower, Responsibility. So that's interesting. This is our base of the matter top card. It's native to the coastal pockets of New South Wales and inland and coastal Victoria and South Australia. Fairy Fanflowers ask you to take responsibility for your actions right now. You must realize that perhaps you are also the only one who can enable action to take place, and you may need to do this on your own. Your word is incredibly important right now, so do not offer it lightly. A time for reevaluation of goals, particularly as new responsibilities may be on the horizon for you. There is an indication that issues surrounding dependence may be improving, with new insights and a strengthening of self-confidence. As a challenge, Fairy Fanflowers can bring limitations due to codependency issues and also may signal trouble with legal matters. As a healer, Fairy Fanflower supports those with new responsibilities and strengthens resolve to cope. So, wow, that was for this rivalry, which could even be linked to a love situation. We do have the Lovers here next to it. So, and it could be negatively affecting your health, this rivalry, this constant battle of maybe a relationship or a divorce or something. But you are manifesting, you are figuring out what it is you want in your life, and you are going there. You're going to figure it out. Spirit will help you. You just need to ask. Ask for guidance, ask for help. You may need to also put boundaries in place with this person as well. And be responsible ultimately. Okay, so that's your reading for today. If this resonated with you at all, if you could like, comment, and or subscribe, that would be great. If you have already, thank you so much. And I'll be back with another reading soon. Take care. Bye.